Wow, time really does go by super quick because it's been more than 2 months with the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And Z Fold 6 was my first Z Fold from Samsung, so making the switch from the Fold 6 to the Fold 7 has been a great improvement. Like when this phone is folded, I don't feel like it's that much, thicker or heavier than a normal slab of glass. I absolutely love it. And when it's unfolded, it is great. But I want to talk about my experience of using this phone 2 months later, starting things off with design and build. I've shown this to a lot of people, and while many do like how thin it is both when unfolded and folded, they ask lots of questions like, well, is it durable? And how does it last? And the crease and all that stuff. And I'll tell you this, I've had no problems with the design and the build. When you open up the phone, yes, the crease is there. It is visible, but less visible when compared to predecessors. Yes, the design is super thin, when unfolded and when folded just like that. But again, no issues whatsoever. Like, I've been really careful with it, so I haven't dropped it or anything like that. I mean, 4.2 when unfolded is really, really good. And it doesn't even weigh that much more, like 215 grams. That's lighter than actually quite a few just regular slab glass phones. The hinge has also been massively improved when compared to predecessors. So like it also helps with the thinness too. The outer display has been great because it feels like a normal conventional smartphone. So many times you may just end up using the front screen for a couple days without even opening the inner display, which when you do, the inner display is phenomenal. 8-inch across, and now there's no more potato quality UDC camera. We get a regular camera, which is great. Although what I've seen in previous years is when it had the UDC camera, a lot of people were talking about, oh, well, look, quality is potato-like, it sucks, we just want regular quality results. Samsung brought that, and now those same people are like, well, we like having, an under-display camera, we didn't want any cutouts or anything getting in the way of, like, make up your mind. I personally am all for this. Yes, would I have liked to have seen like a completely flesh, display with no cutouts? Yes. Well, then just get rid of the inner display camera. Like if you're going to use the inner display, use the covers display camera. I don't know why they have. I personally have tried this maybe once or twice, and that's just for for review purposes. Other than that, I don't use it. Like I don't use this for video calls. If I do, I use the outer display for video calls, like the front-facing camera on the outer display for video calls or anything like that, or taking, selfies and whatnot. I don't use this inner display. So for me, they could have just, they can keep it like this, or they could have got rid of it. Just don't, put a UDC camera. That's just my take. Again, some may agree, some may not. That's completely okay. Now, I've heard the omission of the S Pen support has kind of annoyed a lot of people. And I understand that, but again, that is a preference. And if you're watching, if you watch my videos, you've been subscribed, I don't use the S Pen. I'm being open with you guys. So the omission for me has not been too, annoying. Yes, it would have been nice to have that, but it's not. So that's fine with me. Again, though, many people are, expressing frustration. I totally understand. Samsung did remove the digitizer layer to favor a thinner and stronger display. Some, because of this, would say like, hey, keep the S Pen support and just have a slightly thicker, chassis, which I totally understand. But I feel like at some point Samsung is just going to get rid of the S Pen in its entirety. So the S Ultra lineup, maybe with the 26 Ultra, they'll keep the S Pen. But moving forward, I don't really see it becoming, continuing at least. And I remember back in the early 2010s, when the Note series was, gaining lots of traction, Samsung each year would improve the S Pen, add new features, and that was like the highlight. Now there's really no features. In fact, they're starting to take features. S25 Ultra doesn't have Bluetooth capability where you can kind of use it as like a remote control to take photos and videos. Kind of sucks, but hey, I guess if that's what Samsung's doing, maybe they got to just take another step forward and listen a little bit more to consumers. But Who am I? Now moving on to the software and the performance, this has also been really great, and that makes sense. You know, it's running Android 16, latest Android version with One UI 8. It has a Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy as a chipset, and yes, I know Snapdragon has unveiled, or Qualcomm has unveiled their Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and a lot of phones have already announced they're going to release their latest flagships with this latest chipset very, very soon. So this is going to be technically the older chipset, but it packs a punch. And it's going to pack a punch for quite some time. That's to be expected. Now it does get 12 gigs of RAM. If you go for the 1 terabyte model, you do get 16 gigs of RAM. I don't have that. I have the 512 gig model, and it's been just perfectly fine. I think for me that's more than enough. Now, when we come to just like One UI 8 in general, it's become one of my favorite custom OEM skins. It's definitely not a redesign. That redesign was for the One UI 8, One UI 7 update. But with the One UI 8, we're getting, you know, smaller refinements. I always talk about this, but my favorite app redesign with One UI 8 has been the weather app. It's really been awesome. Really do like it. But I also just love playing games on this, using apps in the full screen mode with the inner display. It truly has been very, very fun, actually. And like Clash of Clans is the reason why I keep getting back into Clash of Clans, because of using foldables. It's so much better just playing these games on a larger screen, and I'm definitely all for it. Now it also does have Galaxy AI updates and features like that. And then there is Samsung's generative edit for photos, which is just, it is so good. But overall, like, I'm going to be talking about cameras in a moment. Overall, it just feels really, really mature, and just opening up a bunch of apps at once has been great. If you are looking to get this Z Fold 7 because of just the work you do, you need a bunch of apps open at the same time, or you just want larger screen that's going to run super fast and buttery smooth and smash through everything, then the Z Fold 7 is definitely going to be that phone for you. Now let's head over into the camera system. So it's not the S25 Ultra camera system, like 100%, but they did, you know, take some cues from it, like the 200 megapixel main camera, which is like the highlight of the Z Fold 7 camera, and it's good. It really is. I've had great results, especially with photos. Videos is pretty good, but Samsung's generative edit has just really been phenomenal. When you put it side by side with Apple and Google Pixel, yes, Pixel is also really great, but man, Apple's clean up feature is pretty bad. Like, it does not perform well whatsoever. So generative edit has truly been really great. And actually, let me open up a photo real quick. Okay, so for example, I have this photo of my Tesla, and I just want to kind of get rid of those cars. So I'm going to go right here, generative edit, tap or draw around anything you want to move or delete. So I want to delete this car. And let's kind of do this actually. There we go. It's going to delete and then generate. Now it does take a moment to kind of work, but that's completely okay, and it has to kind of fill in. So it does take a moment, but it does do a great job. And if you just zoom in, it does seem blurry, but look, I gotta tell you, how does it know what's behind there? Like, that does such a phenomenal job. And you know what? Like, actually, I kind of want to get rid of this tree and then try again. No, let's do this. There we go. I want to see how well it does with deleting that tree. Like, this is great for those who are looking to get into content, especially like making thumbnails, things like that. Wow. Show original. There we go. And with using the inner display, you can have them side by side. This is actually really phenomenal. Just taking a look at that side by side. When you zoom in, it zooms in on both ends. So we zoomed in where the tree is, and it did such a phenomenal job showing like the electrical wires and all that stuff right behind, passing through. That is actually really good. Like, how do you know what's behind here? Like, how do you know there's more trees? It does such a good job. I'm super happy with it. And whenever I come back to using Samsung devices, because I test so many phones, this is one of my favorite features that I enjoy every time. So it's like, good job, Samsung. Seriously, I'm thrilled with using generative edit. But again, video results also are good. Obviously, they're not flagship quality. Like, the one downside about this is like, Samsung, just take the Ultra and bring it to the Fold. Make this your Ultra. Like, truly make this your Ultra flagship. I don't care if it's not a slab of glass. It's a foldable. And you're paying a premium. You might as well just throw in all the specs. Make it the best of the best. That's my take on it. How has the battery held up? Because again, you're getting the same battery capacity for the past couple of years, 4,400 milliamp hours. You're not getting faster charging. It's still kept like 25 watts. Now, in real world use, can you get through a full day of moderate use? So productivity, media, like gaming, all that stuff. Yes, you can. Heavy use and multitasking across many apps will definitely push the battery. But for me, it still has gotten me throughout the day. Very surprising. Now, do keep in mind, if you, let's say you just use your phone's outer display, just like this, you're definitely going to drain less battery versus using it unfolded. That's going to draw more power. Makes sense. And I've heard and seen users tend to kind of moderate how long they stay unfolded to manage battery, at least for some. I don't really care. If I need to use the inner display, I do. If I don't, then I don't. So like watching videos, I'll use the inner display, no problem whatsoever. Playing games, inner display. But if it's like I'm texting or I'm calling somebody, or like it's like a quick looking up something on the web, I'm going to use the other display. So for me, it's been like half-half, and it's still been really good. Charging speeds could be better. This doesn't have wireless charging, which is why I have this case from Thinborn that does have that wireless charging capability thrown on the back. All set to go. Maybe next year Samsung might implement Qi 2, whatever Samsung calls MagSafe, but hopefully we get that. I think we may be getting that with the S26 series. Now, here's what I have to say. The foldable form factor still turns heads. Like, it gives that utility, multitasking, split screen, and the large tablet in pocket feeling. They're really compelling. Like, I still get a lot of positive response and, you know, positive looks because of holding this phone and using this phone. And when I just hand it to people to hold, they're actually genuinely shocked and surprised how a phone can be this thin. It's actually, when it's unfolded, it's thinner than the iPhone Air. That's like 5.6. This is sitting at 4.2. Browsing, productivity apps, reading, media viewing, they're all much more enjoyable on this large inner display. I absolutely love it. But even though, you know, it's got that large inner display, when it is folded, you know, it still is not that 4.2. Like, you get used to having this phone unfolded at that thinness. When you fold it, you're like, huh, it's still twice as thick. It's definitely has, you know, become much thinner than previous years, but you know what I mean? Like, when you start using this phone unfolded, you get used to it, and then you decide to fold it and it becomes like twice as thick again. It's like, oh well. Now, the removal of S Pen for a lot is a trade-off, and for many people, it's a no-go. And I do understand that. Charging speed is underwhelming, and I do agree with that 100%. Like, I 100% stand behind that. It's underwhelming. For a premium device 2025, you're paying like $2,000 for this. 25 watts should not be, at least 45. At least 45 watts. The under display camera removal, for me, it's like, that's fine, but for many, it's like, get rid of the entire camera now. That's like the next thing. Instead of having a camera, just get rid of it, you know, 100% get rid of it. Don't have a camera. We want a seamless display with no cutouts. Like, in that regards, like, people have to make up their mind. Like, I don't know. It's like each year they change their minds and stuff like that. But just wrapping things up, 2 months later, a little bit more than 2 months at this point, Samsung has definitely polished many of the main points, more so the pain points of its predecessors, and brought it with, you know, tried to correct as much as they could with the Z Fold 7. A thinner build, better hinge, improved durability, and a better usable cover display, larger inner display. The Z Fold 7 now feels more practical for daily use. It's not just a showcase device. It's not just like a concept device. It truly is a foldable that I think can be recommended for the mass. Now, the camera, the battery, the software, they're still solid for what it is. They're not perfect, but software in those three aspects that I just named, I think is the best. Then battery and then camera. Surprisingly, battery is actually really good. But if they can just bump up the battery capacity a little bit more, add in the S Ultra's camera system into this, it would be perfect. Like I said, omission of the S Pen is a key trait for many. Not everyone will miss it, including myself. Like I'm fine with it. But surprisingly, I've seen a lot of YouTubers talking about it and they're upset, but many of them don't even use it. There are those that do, but there are many that don't. And then say, oh, well, they shouldn't have removed it. You don't even use it. Anyway, stylus users are also going to be pretty upset, and that totally does make sense. But if you use foldable features often, then this, especially here in the US, is among the best, if not the best. And I would argue right now it is the best option currently available. I think this is better than the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. It's definitely, in my opinion, better than the OnePlus Open, because it's been 2 years since that release and it has not had a successor yet, which is actually rumored to come out sometime in 2026. I think this is going to be an easier recommend for many people, and with deals coming up very soon in October, November, December, this is going to be a great buy and also a great gift. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to superman the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video, because it really does help out the channel out a lot. It will help push my content out to more people. Definitely be sure to check out my latest wallpaper pack right here. It is called Vintage Flourish. Links will be in the description down below. And thank you all so much for watching. We recently passed 52,000 subscribers. Feels surreal. Like I genuinely cannot believe it. I would not have imagined passing even 50,000, even 10,000 at one point. But it's all thanks to you guys for making all of this possible. So thank you all so much, and I'll catch you all in the next episode.